Good evening, Guardians, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Short Pause Presents Tower Talk. I'm Ben on the other end of the microphone. That's Brent. We're here on behalf of Short Pause. www.shortpause.com is the website. You can follow us on Twitter at the Short Pause. Tower Talk is our Destiny-focused video discussion series. Brent, where you and I happen here, we talk any and everything in the world of Destiny. Have a damn fine time doing it. We missed last week due to some scheduling conflicts, so we've got a lot to discuss this week here on the show. But first and foremost, Brent, how are you doing this fine evening, sir?
Dude, is it Friday yet? Because seriously, this week has sucked ass, something fierce. So I am just ready for the weekend to get here so I can start playing some video games, start playing some Destiny 2, and not think about life. Just want to have fun. So yeah. I'm ready for tomorrow night to get here, dude.
Yeah, you and me both, man. It's been actually a trying couple weeks here, trying to deal with work, deal with things going on at home. We've got some things we're remodeling here. We got just a lot going on, and it'd be nice to just be able to sit back and just not have to worry about anything and play a game here and there. So Brent, as I mentioned at the top of the show here, it's been a while since we've been on here, and I got to talk some Destiny too. So first and foremost, man, what have you been up to? Like, what's been going on in your Destiny 2 world?
You know, this is usually the part where I start talking about all the cool guns that I've gotten that you haven't. So I'm just going to reiterate that I still have the Aquilo shotgun, which is really, really nice. And I snagged the horror story in the final couple of days of the Haunted Forest. That was a great event. I really thought the Festival of the Dead was a fantastic event. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of great stuff to do. And the horror story was definitely worth it. I really enjoyed that gun. And there's a lot of great stuff to do there. So I had a lot of fun. Been doing a lot of that, trying to get as much done with the Festival of the Lost. And yeah, man, it was really nice. But let's talk about you, dude. All right, let's talk about you for a second. This is typically the guy where he's like, man, I still haven't gotten this gun, and I haven't gotten this gun, and I usually rub it in your face. Well, I got this one, and I got this one. But man, this past week, you went crazy, dude.
Yeah, I got some work done. So first to echo your sentiments, I agree. Festival of the Lost was a lot of fun. I actually, on the final night, I finished the last of the triumphs I needed to finish. So I completed like the triumph portion of the event as well in the record book. So I was happy about that, being able to get that done. It didn't necessarily give you any reward. I mean, it had several emblems and shaders attached to it for completing those triumphs. But maybe down the line we'll see like a moments of triumph or something that'll call back to this. Who knows? But got that stuff done, and like you mentioned, the horror story, the big kind of showpiece of that event. And not only is it a sweet gun, its origin story with Zen Moment and some additional perks on it, but having that thing drop fully masterwork at 600 power level has completely changed my character.
Oh yeah,
it's completely changed the way that my character is able to upgrade and move forward right now. And I've made leaps and bounds since getting Horror Story. My character's at like 577 right now, which is.
Are you up to 577 now?
Up to 577.
Oh my lord!
And just having that 600 power level item in my inventory has completely jacked up the drops that I'm getting from all sources. So even when we get stuff like those clan engrams every week, and those are supposed to be like a lower power level, but because Horror Story is so disproportionate to the rest of the items in my inventory, like these engrams are now dropping at higher power levels than I would have had. So everything else in my inventory is not 600. You know, it's way lower. So I'm getting these drops now from just regular engrams that are higher, and I can infuse them into these other guns and kind of work my power level up. So that's been a nice bonus of how Festival of the Lost played out. So the Haunted Forest was a cool event, like you mentioned. Played a lot of that as a part of Festival of the Lost and trying to get all these triumphs. Almost everything was connected to the Haunted Forest. So played just a load of that over the last few weeks as much as I could. So really enjoyed that. Hopefully they'll bring the Haunted Forest back in some capacity. Maybe retweak it for a non-Halloween themed, just kind of regular Destiny event.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes. But that was a lot of fun. And then there's a lot of stuff I haven't done in the game, Brent. So I was like, all right, I need to buckle down and start doing some of this stuff, knocking out some of these quests. So first and foremost, knocked out the Ace of Spades quest.
Boom.
Finally went in there, did the last of the stuff I needed to do, and as a nice byproduct, qualified myself for the Bungie rewards associated with it. So I bought the Ace of Spades T-shirt that was tied to that, so that'll be coming soon. And then also I have access to that replica Ace of Spades as a part of the reward now as well. So I haven't purchased that yet, but I have my code for it. I've got till the end of the year to buy that, so definitely want to purchase that as well. That's going to be a sweet addition to my desk. So got Ace of Spades out of the way. But which, by the way, the final mission in that quest is really really good. It's a nice send off for Cade, so highly recommend going after Ace of Spades if you don't yet have it. And nice byproduct, it's a sweet gun. So being able to have that is icing on the cake. Ace of Spades is useful in both PvE and PvP, so it's a very very good gun to have in your inventory. And speaking of PvP, there's another quest that I was in the middle of. I was like, all right, let me finish this off. So I went and got the Chaperone. So I went in there,
boom.
finished the Chaperone quest, and that is an elite level weapon in PvP if you know how to use it. So I'm not the best with it right now. It takes a lot of skill to use, but once you master the Chaperone and you can headshot guardians from 15 meters and one shot kill them with this slug shotgun, like you become an elite level player. So if you can get in there and master that weapon, it's very very deadly in the Crucible. It's not really made for PvE as much, but the Chaperone is a nasty nasty weapon in PvP in the right hands. Brent, I think there was you that tweeted a video out or retweeted a video of a guy just absolutely wrecking just a Crucible set. I mean, he was like a 15 kill streak, just one after the other.
He was just annihilating people with straight headshots over and over. I mean, and he was laughing because it was just it was a complete game changer the way he was utilizing that thing. I mean, obviously he had some major skills, but and it just showed with the proper skill set you can just destroy the other side quickly before they even have a chance to make a game of it.
Yeah, just absolutely disgusting gun when right in the right hands. And as a nice byproduct of going through the haunted forest repeatedly and going after Horror Story and the different triumphs associated with Festival of the Lost, I received several exotic drops in that mission as well, which was nice. So man, it must have been 3 or 4 exotic drops I got out of the actual haunted forest, and one of those happened to be the Queen Breaker, which I know a lot of people are going after, which is a nice fusion sniper rifle combo and something that's a nice alternative to Sleeper Simulant in Gambit. So you will see a lot of Queen Breaker bows in Gambit to those people that have located that item. Also got the Wave Splitter exotic trace rifle, which is the Void. Kind of the Void version of Cold Heart and Prometheus Lens. So that's a really sick gun. So I really like that. That one's a really super rare drop. So I was surprised to come across that one. Got a new chest piece, the Phoenix something or another. I haven't used the XI. I don't have the Ward of Dawn subclass yet, which I need to obtain at some point. Then I finally got Trust, the Gambit hand cannon. Which I've been waiting for a long time. So just a lot of good weapons in the repertoire now, Brent, and still got more quests and stuff that I'm working on that I need to work towards. But I'm enjoying like getting in here and like getting stuff done. I really want to go for Luna's Howl. Like I'm working on that right now in the Crucible. Would love to get a group together so we can go into competitive and work on getting this gun. But that's by all accounts that's an amazing weapon. So just lots of stuff going on right now. But it's been good lately, man. Been getting a lot of good gear and my character's progressing nicely. Like I'm ready for the raid. I'm ready for the Shattered Throne. I'm ready to get into all these end game activities that I haven't been able to jump into yet. So I'm excited, man, about where we go from here.
Now, here's the question, dude. You've passed me in light level, unacceptable. You've gotten far more exotics than I have, unacceptable. Did you do the trifecta? Did you pass me in time played? I think we lost Boyce on Skype. I think we lost Boyce. Or we're not even streaming. I don't even know what's going on right now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Maybe he couldn't handle the question, but hang on one second. We will be right back.
Brent, you there? Yeah, that was weird. Just yeah. All right, sweet. No coincidence, I don't think. So, mhm. I have not passed you in time played, as far as I know. So still lagging behind on that. In fact, let's do a live test. I'm gonna look at this right now. See let's see where we fall in time played. So we're gonna use wastedondestiny.com. We're gonna do a live lookup on time here and just really display how big of a loser we are. Um, so Piccolo 930, 367 hours in Destiny 2. In Destiny 2. It is almost there. So my total time in Destiny 1 was 411 hours. I'm currently at 367 hours in Destiny 2. So we'll be passing my total time in Destiny 1 shortly. So now let's check the dude 79. Let's see where Brent's at. So just a reminder, I'm at 367 and 51 minutes if that matters to you. Brent, I'm just gonna look at your PlayStation account. You are currently at 374 hours and 7 minutes. You've got me still by 7 hours in the game. So I will, but I've made up some ground. You had 16 hours on me not too long ago. So so I'm making moves. I'm getting up there, but the fact still remains, Brent. We have a lot of things, a lot of end game activities we need to participate in. The Shattered Throne is live this week. Like we are in a curse week. So Shattered Throne is live. I think we should attempt that at some point. Maybe get the Wish Ender quest going. The because it's a curse week, the chance that the Ascendant Primeval taken boss spawns in Gambit is highly elevated. So we should get in there and look for malfeasance at some point. We can start that quest up. Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. That quest sits there in competitive. The Redrix's Broadsword, another thing that we haven't gone after. Like the raid, obviously the Last Wish raid, which all Nightfalls, dude, Nightfalls. We have to do freaking Nightfalls. We haven't even done a Nightfall yet. So there's a lot of stuff on our plate that we have in front of us now that we have access to that we did not have access to prior to Festival of the Lost. So I'm excited, man. Like, what are we gonna do first here? Hmm. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Yes. We need to go blinding well. Blinding well. We need to get in there. Yes. Dude, that's super high on my list. The blinding well, getting the next super. I really need that. I need void warp in my life. So I need to get that super, man. It's nasty in all aspects of the game, but especially in PvP. That thing is sick. I've died by it a million times. It's very very effective in the Crucible. I need that in my life ASAP. So yeah, we need to make that happen sooner rather than later. So yeah, Tipsy. Yeah, Tipsy, what's up, dude? But Brent, you know, all that said, everything that I did and have accomplished these past few weeks, you may have taken the carrot at the top of the cake though, because you secured the Aikilo shotgun in a just a happen chance escalation protocol match we dropped into. Just happened to be there with a group of people, happened to kill the boss. Very first drop you got was the Aikilo shotgun. So my hats off to you, man. That is still something that I really really want to get my hands on. Tipsy, I know he's got everything from escalation protocol now. So yeah. So how you feeling with the Aikilos on your back now, man? Oh yeah. 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 She just melted. Oh yeah. Yeah. Not super effective in PvP. I don't think when compared to some of the other shotguns that are available in the game. But yeah. I mean, hell, it's a super powerful weapon. If you get it down the right way, it can be effective in all aspects of the game. So, man. Yeah, Malfeasance got that buff recently too, which I've been reading about. A lot of people saying good things about it. So, yeah, we need to get that in our life. Brent, this is the week to get into Gambit, man. This is the height of the curse week. Gambit is going to have double infamy points this weekend again. It's a very very good time to be playing Gambit. So maybe we can try and get Malfeasance in our life as well.
Tipsy just pointed out I had my mic muted, so that's awesome. I muted my mic when I was trying to fix the Skype thing. It's been a disaster. Tipsy, the whole stream's been a disaster. Skype took a dump. I hit the mute button. I don't know what's going on tonight. It's just basically a continuation of my entire week. Everything has been a shit show. I apologize, Tipsy. Thanks for that call out, buddy. Really appreciate it, man.
How long has your mic been muted?
I think it was when we had to do the Skype reset. I paused. I muted the mic, so just for a little bit. But yeah, the Achilles is a sexy gun. It melts bosses. I absolutely love the way it melted that boss in the Nightmare. That's what I was talking about when my mic was muted. Big fan of the Achilles shotgun. I want that Malfeasance, and now Tipsy's got me pissed and triggering to go get that one.
Nice. Well, all right. So now that everybody's up to speed on what we've been doing, we know what's in front of us, Brent. Let's talk about what's been going on in the world of Destiny 2. Some things we need to touch on from the past few weeks. So first and foremost, I want to touch on some of the stuff they revealed in terms of how Masterwork armor works. So this was in this week at Bungie last week, and there's some interesting stuff in here. And to be honest, I didn't know any of this stuff. I never really thought about it. So the fact that they went in here and gave us a little preview of what goes into this, I thought was really interesting. So I want to get your thoughts on this. So this is in regards to how Masterwork armor works in the game. So this is from Ryan Hammond, who's a sandbox tester with Bungie. He says this. Hello, everyone. Here's a brief rundown of how masterworking your armor increases your damage resistance from both all incoming elemental damage from combatants and all damage during your super. So here's how it breaks down. There's 3 families of masterwork perks, as we know. If we just dive into a piece of armor, we'll see it on there. But you can get a masterwork in either Arc, Solar, or Void. Each family of perks has 5 tiers. Each legendary armor item has a masterwork perk randomly assigned, allowing each player to potentially build up to 25 cumulative tiers of masterworks for a given damage type. So imagine this, Brent. You have your entire armor set. Like I have a full set of Iron Banner armor, and it has every single one of them has a arc masterwork on it. So I can level up all 5 tiers of arc masterworks on that armor, and I will get I'll hit basically tier 25 in arc resistance damage, which is sizable, as we'll talk about here. So each tier bestows the following effects. So plus 1% damage resistance against any combatant attack carrying the specified damage type, not player attacks. So Brandon, if I'm reading that correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like this damage resistance that you get from the Masterwork armor will apply to PvE activities, but not Crucible activities. Is that how you read that?
Yeah, when I read not player attacks, yeah. I'm assuming that means like PvE elements.
Gotcha. And then the second effect is plus 1 damage resistance against any attack while the Guardian is in Super. So this is similar to what we got in Gear 1 in terms of the Masterwork items giving us that damage resistance while in Super, which is very useful.
And this is any attack.
Yes. So Super damage resistance stacks regardless of family disparity. So for example, if a player has Tier 12 Arc and Tier 3 Void, they have a cumulative additional 15% damage resistance while in Super, but only 12% damage resistance versus Arc combatant and 3% versus Void combatant damage. So Once again, if we break that down, it takes into account each of your elements and the
Hmm.
percent damage resistance you have from those tiers. But when it comes to super resistance, it all goes towards the same bucket. So you get a cumulative damage resistance in super from all your damage types. Now, here's an interesting one that I want to get your thoughts on to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. But the in super damage resistance stacks multiplicatively with the innate damage resistance of a super. So if I'm reading that correctly, Brent, uh, it's a little bit confusing with the wording here, but it
Hmm.
sounds like this extra damage you get from the masterwork armor multiplies with the natural damage resistance of your super. That just how it's built into the game. So you naturally like have an additional shield or additional damage resistance once you pop your super, and it seems to multiply by the masterwork percentage. Is that how you're reading this?
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, based on what you're saying, that's how I would read into it as well. This was when I read through this, I almost got a small headache just because I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here, and because we're not used to this type of granular detail
Yeah.
in our masterwork in our armor. So I mean, this is going to be a completely new thing. This is going to take some getting used to, but I'm really curious to see how it plays out over time.
Yeah. And Brent, here's the thing. Honestly, I've gotten way into the weeds in Destiny 2 right now. So I'm watching videos. I'm reading spreadsheets. I'm dedicating a lot of my outside of game time to Destiny, and I'm just completely obsessed with this game right now. And I've been diving into all aspects of it, from how to build your proper armor set, to what the god rolls are on the different guns, to uh you know what bonuses you get from each of the different barrel perks and all that. Like, I'm really in the weeds in this game, and when
Uh-huh.
you get into the weeds, like, there you can just see how much depth is really underneath the surface in this game. So I'm really really enjoying that. I love that we have random rolls back with both armor and guns. It just makes for a this whole other like meta game that goes on behind the scenes as you're just studying the stuff and getting used to it and figuring out what works for PvP, what works for PvE. Like right now, I'm in this lost sector on Earth, and I'm trying to farm for the perfect Dust Rock Blues. 'Cause it's this really good PvP shotgun. If you have the right roll on it, it's a nice addition to your loadout. So I'm doing stuff like this now, and I don't know, man. I really really like this part of the game. Are you in the weeds, so to speak, with this game, or what do you think about just getting nitty gritty like this?
I love that because it adds a layer of depth to everything. You really want to find the perfect role. You really want to find the best gear with the best role that's going to suit your style of play. This is like some of these RPG elements that that
Mhm.
we've heard about that might be being implemented into Destiny 3, some deep RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into that. This is like kind of like Diablo type of like stats for your armor, for your weapons. There's a lot of nitty gritty here, and that allows so much variety and allows you to tailor the guns and gear to your style of play, and that
Mhm.
makes things incredibly unique on a player by player basis.
Yeah, I love that, man, and yeah, it's one of the things. It's one of the reasons I really enjoy playing Destiny right now, because I understand this game, and when you dig beneath the surface, like, I understand it even further now. Some of the stuff that goes into like what makes a good roll, and how all these different modifiers and things, and how the perks play off of each other, and how to create like a perfect build for your character. So it's been really really fun digging into that stuff, and like, this is it's one of the things that's daunting about other games right now. It's like, when you get so in the weeds with this game, and you dig into it and you figure out how all the stuff works, and then to think about going and trying to do that with another game, it's like, man, it just seems like a lot of work. But when you're like in the moment with this, it's a lot of fun. And just to finish the conversation in terms of armor here. So sorry, what's this guy's name again? Ryan. So finishes with this. Keep in mind that while your masterwork super damage resistance stacks with the base damage resistance of your supers. So once again, it's a little bit confusing with this, but it seems like maybe that refers to that last bullet point, talking about the multiplicatively, increasing resistance. You will never be 100% invulnerable to attacks. Lastly, differences in power levels between the Guardian and combatants, no matter how minor it may seem, play a large role in determining incoming damage, with damage resistances modifying that damage further. I hope this explains a little better what is going on under the hood. That's the end of Ryan's quote there. So all in all, Brent, do you feel like you know a little bit more about the armor right now? Do you appreciate kind of what goes into this masterworking? Are you interested in yourself, like digging into your character a little bit more and looking into what might be the perfect role for yourself?
Yeah, like this is the sort of thing. I mean, they can talk about, but I want to get in there and really see it and see how much I can really tweak. I'm more of a hands-on person. I mean, this all stuff sounds great, but I want to start getting in there and really digging into it. And like I said, if I can start tailoring it to my style of play and building up for certain situations, I'm totally down with that, dude.
Yeah, and as we get on in the Life of Forsaken here, there's a lot more videos that are being made. There's a lot more posts being written. There's a lot more Reddit threads that are popping up that talk about this stuff and how to like build your character and what goes into it. And I find that stuff really interesting. So one of the things I did last time Iron Banner was around was the entire armor set that Saladin was selling. It all had the arc resistance on it. It all kind of catered, or at least had some aspect of its perks that were dedicated to hand cannons. So since I like to use those a lot, especially in the Crucible, I was like, all right, let me buy this entire set and let's try to see if this, we can build a nice character around this. So that's been interesting to do that, and I'm looking to do that with some more armor sets in the future here as I look to like build the one that's really perfect for my character. But yeah, that stuff's a lot of fun, man. So moving on from armor, I want to quickly touch on the Refer a Friend promo. So this is a quest that's in the game right now, Brent. Basically if you refer somebody that purchases a new copy of Forsaken, it then opens you up to a quest, which I'm not entirely sure what the quest entails, which is my next question for you. So I'm not sure what this quest entails, but you can go through a quest in the game as you refer a friend, and you unlock some cool like ornaments and sparrows, and you can even access the Borealis sniper rifle via the refer a friend quest if you don't yet have that one. My question to you is, Brent, though, if I purchase Forsaken on, let's say I purchase it on PC and start a new character on there, like will I make myself eligible for the refer a friend promo with my own character on PC, or is that not how this works?
You're coming to the wrong guy because I don't know anything about this. I do like the ornaments. I will say that. Jacob says you get friendship out of it. I guess that's the most important thing. You get friendship out of it. So I appreciate that. I
could be friends with myself, and what better friend could I ask for?
I do want to try to figure out how this works, though, because I do have a couple of friends that are looking into possibly getting it, and I would love to get in on some of these items.
Yeah, I imagine there's some aspect of you having to play with them at some point. It seems like that's how this works. You referring a friend and then playing through the game in some capacity with them. So yeah, I'll have to dig a little bit further into this. But yeah, I agree. The ornament looks cool. The sparrow looks cool. Emblems in there. Obviously, if you don't have the Borealis, that's a cool sniper rifle. So being able to access that is pretty neat as well. So if any of you out there have referred a friend or know how this works, let Brent and I know, so that we can try to figure out a way to exploit it for ourselves. All right, so moving on from there, let's talk about some upcoming improvements that Bungie is working on, Brent. And they put out a TWAB earlier today that gave us some tantalizing hints into what's coming down the pipeline here in Destiny. So the first thing they talked about is some of the like the quality of life updates that they're working on for the game. So as people who really enjoy this game, play it a lot, this stuff's always fun to talk about and get a glimpse behind the curtain on what they're looking into. So this is from engineer Ben Thompson. He speaks on the performance of the game. So we've been paying close attention to reports of long load times on console and are working on improvements to reduce these load times. Let's break down 3 distinct performance issues that we are looking into. Starting up the game, signing on and selecting your character, loading into activities and traveling throughout a destination, and loading the player inventory screen and switching between UI tabs. If you are a console player, you know exactly what Ben Thompson's talking about. All of this stuff takes a little bit longer than seemingly it should. For myself, I've just accepted this as just the way this is. But if they can make improvements to this, like, please do. I'm all for this.
Right.
So Ben goes on to say, in the upcoming Season 5 update, you should see significant improvements loading into activities and traveling throughout a destination. We've been bringing new content, bug fixes, and patches at a cadence more frequent than we had previously accounted for. That cadence of patchiness translated into some unexpected overhead within the code, and that is responsible for loading data into the game. All that being said, loading from orbit into the EDZ should be reduced from over 2 minutes down to just over 1 minute, and we're eager to see how things pan out in the wild. That's a huge difference. Obviously, a minute doesn't seem like a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but when you're sitting there, like an extra, a whole 60-second improvement in the load time is significant. It's extremely significant when it comes to gaming. So, Brent, what do you think about this, man? Are you? I mean, you know what Ben Thompson's referring to, right? Like you load into the game, you sit there waiting for your characters to pop up and pick one. You load it into your inventory. You got to sit there for 5 seconds or whatever and wait for everything to kind of load up. So, if they fix that, that's gonna be huge, right?
Yeah, because obviously there's times where you're like, hey, I'm on right now. I'm like, oh, quick, I'll try to hop on. I gotta wait through the load screen.
Yep.
I gotta wait for my characters to pop up, and then there's the scene between when you select your character and waiting to see your ship in orbit, where it's literally, for me, I don't know if this is for everybody on and it has to experience this, but it's literally just a black screen. I can hear things, I can hear everything, but nothing loads up, and I'm just like, what the F? I just want to get in here and do this. So, yes, this is a quality of life improvement. This is going to be very, very nice to be able to just fire up the game and get into it a lot quicker, especially upon load, because that is really the most annoying thing.
Yeah, definitely. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had that happen to myself as well. Now, something I really want to get your thoughts on, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about getting over to the blinding well and trying to get that seed of light that we need. But Sandbox designer Claude Jerome had this to say. Spectral Blades was heavily retuned to increase the reliability of melee attacks in PvP and to bolster the effectiveness of the super stealth capabilities. The following changes are planned to reach these goals. Increasing melee lunge range of all attacks, reducing the cost of light melee attacks, increasing the number of consecutive hits required to speed up the attack rate, and decreasing base attack speed to improve hit registration on intended targets. This is not intended as a nerf. The goal here is to increase the intentionality of the attack rate increase so that it is most often happening when players are focusing on a single target. A retuned melee targeting to have a greater emphasis on player input, i.e. where your stick input is directed toward or which target your camera is facing. The goal here is to reduce the likelihood of melee targeting, picking enemies that you don't want to hit, and increasing the viability of the stealth mechanics associated with Spectral Blades. So added a small amount of damage resistance to the stealth state and further decrease to super drain when in the stealth state. So Brent, I know you don't have Spectral Blades yet, and this is something that will be coming down the line as we get an additional Seed of Light and you gain access to this super. But just for myself personally, I don't see this super a lot in PvP, and I think that's something that that they want this to be an elite PvP subclass. I still see Archstrider just almost exclusively when it comes to hunters or Blade Barrage. Now, excuse me, that one is very heavily used as well. Spectral Blades does not get a lot of play. So would you agree that they need to get in here and work this a little bit, just because it just doesn't seem like many people are using it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, because I mean, and there's once in a while I'll see somebody using it, and maybe it's just somebody who knows what they're doing, and it is a very lethal super. I mean, it is very, very cool to see that thing playing out. And I tell you what, dude, as much I really wish I would have known I wasn't going to get all my supers right away, because I would have went with Spectral Blades first and foremost.
Really?
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, without a question. That's the one I should have went with, which is why I want to get the Seed of Light. So hopefully we can get in there and get that, because I do want to use this. I love stealth. Stealth is just in my nature. I love to play games with stealth, and I do want to use this ability, because I think with these changes, and when I see people using it without these changes, and they're still very lethal with it, it's a super I really want to start using and mastering.
I'll tell you too, one thing about Spectral Blades is the invisibility on this is very effective. I've been killed by Spectral Blades several times. I had no idea anybody was anywhere near me. So the a lot of the times with the invisibility, like you can easily pick up the targets and where they're invisible. But I don't know what it is about Spectral Blades, but it seems more difficult to pick up the invisibility on this. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and it's all about how you use it. It's all about, the timing and being patient. And like one of the best times to use it, where you might not notice it, is during a major firefight where there's a lot of people around, and you can lose sight of it. You don't know where that person is. I mean, you might see a glimpse of purple here, a little bit of void there, but you don't know it until it's too late. And sometimes popping it during a heavy firefight is a good time. Other times it's about patience and knowing when to pop it and when you can get in really quick and get out really quick. It's just it's a sweet looking super, dude.
Yeah. definitely there are some interesting possibilities with it. So I know you're excited to get your hands on it with your love of stealth. So
Hell yes.
I've no doubt you'll get your money's worth out of it once we finally get that damn seed of light, man. Um, there's a nice note here about Chaos Reach as well, which is actually the Warlock super that I have right now, which is the basically Arc Beam of Death. So for Chaos Reach, we're tuning the energy cost of deactivating Chaos Reach early. Thank goodness, because uh, I one of the cool things about Chaos Reach when they initially unveiled it was the fact that you were going to be able to cancel your super early on in the super and conserve some of your super energy to then build up to your next Chaos Reach. So you have a yellow barred enemy pops onto the screen, you pop your super, eliminate it really quickly. You still have some of your super left, you deactivate it and hold on to that for the future. So for myself, I have not seen this work in any way, shape, or form. I feel like every time I deactivate that thing, all I'm staring at is I deactivated my super early and I have no super energy left. So I'm like, all right, this doesn't seem to be working, or else I just have no idea how this works. So the intent of this tuning patch is to make it more rewarding to skillfully time your early deactivation when using this super. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. If anybody is using Chaos Reach and is able to cancel it and conserve some of their super energy, please let me know what the hell I'm doing, because I clearly have no idea. Every time I cancel that thing, I'm just left just looking stupid with no super energy, and I early canceled super. So,
you know what? You know what? That's a trick question because nobody in the chat would dare play as a warlock, so they wouldn't know. So yeah, there you go.
Your hunter humor is
I'm
funny
just
as
saying,
funny
these guys
as funny
know
as
better.
ever.
These guys know
Funny as
better.
ever. So just to put the cap on the Chaos Reach here, essentially it will be more punishing to deactivate the Chaos Reach super extremely early, but less punishing when deactivating later in the super. So I do like that, to have sort of a little mini game in terms of when you should properly cancel Chaos Reach, but I'll be very curious to see that once it's all finished up, because like I said, I just am getting zero use out of that ability right now.
Right.
And one more interesting thing here. So we're currently looking to add reset functionality to checkpoints in various activities, like the Last Wish raid. We do not have a specific timeline for when this functionality will be added, but wanted to note that the feedback is under investigation. Brent, what does this mean? Does this mean that, let's say we're in the middle of a fight in the raid, we know that we screwed up, that instead of everybody just having to jump off a cliff and wipe themselves, we can just instantly restart the checkpoint? Is that what we're talking about here? I don't know what they mean by checkpoint resets.
I don't even know why that would be necessary. I feel like just jumping off the cliff is sufficient.
Yeah.
Now my question is, when I went and did the raids, and when I had a checkpoint, is there even the ability to reset it like you used to be able to in Destiny 1? I don't remember seeing that during that time when we were right before when the Moments of Triumph was coming to an end. All those things were in there. We were doing all those raids, and I don't remember seeing, if I had a checkpoint where I could cancel my checkpoint. Remember how you could do that in Destiny 1?
Okay. So maybe this is referring to actually being able to go back and restart the raid, is what you're saying, instead of just.
Yeah, because I think just jumping off the cliff is sufficient. I don't think you need to have a reset like that. I mean, it just take long enough to go in there and do it. I got to repeat this because Lord Tipsy is kind of a dick for this. He said, "Take that Warlock statement back, Brent. You almost made me spit out my Taco Bell double chalupa. Now I'm hungry for Taco Bell, Tipsy. No, I'm not taking my comment back, but now I'm hungry. Damn it. Double chalupa sounds amazing right now."
It's just the typical just garbage hunter talk that we get from that side of the equation. So just pay no attention to him, Tipsy. That's just hunter being a hunter. This typical. When they're jealous, they just lash out. So it's just their natural reaction. So you can't fault Brent for falling in line with the rest of the hunters in the world.
Salty. Go ahead, continue.
So if that's the case, that makes more sense to me in terms of the checkpoint, that being able to just restart the activity. So that's probably what they're getting at there.
Jacob says this could mean using the wish wall and then chest farming. I don't know what that means, Jacob, but I don't know if that's what that means.
It could be anything at this point. We don't know. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for further updates on this. But moving on from there, let's talk Gambit for a minute, Brent. So I mentioned earlier in the show, this is a curse week. So this is the height of the Taken Curse in the Dreaming City. So this is the week to get into Gambit. You'll have access to the Malfeasance quest. You can get your hands on that gun like Tipsy. And, from what I've seen, it's a very, very sick weapon, especially in Gambit. So it's definitely something that we need to get our hands on. So what they're doing, so one of the things we should probably mention, but Destiny 2 is free on PC right now to all players through
That's
November
awesome.
18th. So very, very cool. It was recently free as a part of PlayStation Plus. It's now free on PC. So bringing in a lot of new players and getting them into the fold, and then hopefully enticing them to make that Forsaken purchase and get on with the game as it currently sits. So yeah, I think it's a great move, and I think there's enough that's been done with the game where people are going to go through Destiny 2 and be excited about it and want to partake in Forsaken after that. So as part of this initiative where they've got new players hopping into the game via PC, they're now going to run another free Gambit trial this weekend. So starting tomorrow, Brent, running through Sunday, Gambit will be free to all players of Destiny 2, I guess. And this is just you can just simply download the game and just play Gambit, right? Even if you don't have Destiny 2. So as part of this continuing push to bring in new players, we've got Destiny 2 free on the PC and a free Gambit trial weekend. So if you have not tried Gambit, definitely hop in there and check that out because it is a lot of fun, especially when you go in there with the team. Also, if you own Forsaken, Double Infamy will be available in the Gambit playlist.
Ooh.
So I completely missed the boat on this last weekend, Brent. We had double infamy and triple infamy.
Yeah.
I was knee deep in the haunted forest and the festival of the lost, trying to complete those triumphs. I just did not have time to play Gambit like I wanted to. So I need to remedy that this weekend. We need to get in there. We need to get this infamy rank up, and we need to try and get our hands on Malfeasance. So let's put that on our to-do list. What do you think?
It's right at the top, brother.
All right, sounds good. Now, perhaps the most interesting part of the update this week is the confirmed end of Season 4. So as we know it, Brent, this is the first season of Destiny 2 Forsaken. Season 4 will come to an end on November 27th, 2018. So is that a Tuesday? I don't have it in front of me.
What date is it?
I would assume it's a Tuesday, November 27th.
Yes.
So it is a Tuesday. The prevailing thought in the community is that the following week, on December 4th, the season 5 will start, which introduces the Black Armory. So essentially, Brent, we're basically less than a month away from the next season of Destiny 2 Forsaken, which seems crazy that we're already there.
Right.
But before you know, man, we will be talking Black Armory. So we have a confirmed end date of season 4 right now, and that means a few things. So first and foremost, the final Iron Banner of season 4 goes live next week. So man, it's just one thing after another, Brent. I feel like it's just been one just event after another that's been driving us into this game. Festival of the Lost started with Iron Banner. Iron Banner will return now next week with the final Iron Banner of season 4. And while the Iron Banner weapons will continue to be available, this is actually your final chance to earn season 4 Iron Banner armor. So let me get your thoughts on this, Brent. So a final Iron Banner is something we really enjoy. Our power level is significantly higher than last time Iron Banner was around, so we should be even more competitive than we were last time around. But with this being the final chance to earn the season 4 Iron Banner armor, what does this mean? Does this mean we're going to get brand new armor in season 5, or that's what it means, right?
It has to. I mean, this is our last chance, and there's going to be new armor in season 5, which I'm hyped for. But yeah, this is it, dude.
Because even if they were to introduce ornaments for the set like they did in the previous Iron Banner in year 1, they had the one armor set and just continued to introduce ornaments for it.
Right.
Even if they did that you'd still have to have access to the armor sets to get the ornaments. So yeah, it sounds like we're gonna get a brand new set of armor with Destiny 2. So what do you think about that, man? Are you on board with that, or did you like what they did in season 1 with the different ornaments that you had access to?
I actually love the ornaments because I could swap out, whatever set I wanted to play with. I was cool with that. I liked the ornaments, but if I'm going to get a completely new design, like a new set, a whole new set of armor, I'm on board with that. I think that's cool as well. But I do like the ornaments because that was always the coolest thing about Iron Man. Like, oh man, we got some new ornaments we got to get in there and grind for. And that was really appealing. But, if they don't have ornaments this time, but we're going to have a whole new set every season, I think that's just as good.
Yeah. One of the things is with the random rolls now being available on armor and the different perks that you have access to, it's gonna hurt a little bit when you finally get that perfect set of Iron Banner armor, and then you've got to go and look for that perfect set of Iron Banner armor again. in the next season when you could just possibly get a set of ornaments for it. So there might be a little bit of trepidation with that, but like you said, it's always exciting to have access to new armor, and I'm very curious to see what the next set is going to look like. I feel like the Iron Banner armor always looks really cool. At the top of the list, though, Brent, when Iron Banner arrives, is I have to get my hands on a God roll Claws of the Wolf.
Yes, you do.
Have to get my hands on that, man. I've got several Claws of the Wolf rolls that are not the rolls I've been looking for. So I need the perfect roll for this gun in my life because this gun's really good, and it reminds me a lot of the Clever Dragon, which was a gun I loved in Destiny 1. Dude, can you pray to the RNG gods for me and make sure that I get the Claws of the Wolf I'm looking for this next week? It's gotta happen.
Dude, the RNG gods have been good enough to you. It's my turn to start benefiting. You got hooked up last week. I'm gonna get hooked up next week. That's just the way it's gonna roll.
Also, wouldn't mind a Roar of the Bear with tracking and cluster bombs.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
That's the one I want. That's the one I really, really want.
Yeah. So, if the RNG gods see fit, bestow us with some of this Iron Banner love this next week. But yeah, Brent, this next week, let's put some time into the banner and let's get this done, man.
I'll be there, my friend.
So also of note is with season 4 coming to an end, there's some triumphs that are attached to the season. So in terms of the Vanguard, so the seasonal Vanguard rank that's attached to season 4 will obviously be unobtainable after this season finishes up. And same thing with the Crucible. So your seasonal Valor rank and your seasonal Glory rank are also triumphs that are tied to season 4 itself. So obviously this stuff will reset and you'll have access to a new triumph in the following season to get your Vanguard rank and your Crucible ranks up. But if you are looking to complete those triumphs for season 4, keep that in mind that once November 27th hits, they will no longer be obtainable. Now, on the back of that, there's been some talk about the Pinnacle Crucible weapons. So just to clear this up for everybody, while quest lines for Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten are available year-round, Crucible ranks will reset at the end of Season 4. Each quest contains a quest step to reach a rank milestone, and progress may be lost for these specific steps if you do not reach the requirements prior to the season ending. Progress for alternate quest steps will not be reset. If you're in the middle of getting precision kills or completing rumble matches, you will not lose any progress in those steps. If you are within arm's reach of Fabled or Legend, this is your time to make the final push. If you do not reach the rank you're aiming for by November 27th, you will be reset to Guardian and have to climb the ladder once more. If you reach the rank and complete the associated quest steps before season's end, you're all set. So picture this, Brent. If you are grinding through the competitive ranks of Crucible and you are sitting at Mythic on your way to getting Not Forgotten, and you just somehow don't realize that you will not have a chance to get the Legend prior or after November 27th, and you log into your character on November 28th and you pull up your Crucible rank, like, yeah, man, I'm almost to Not Forgotten. This elite level weapon, the best weapon in the game. I'm almost there. You fire it up and you look at your Crucible rank and you're sitting at Guardian. Like, how mad are you going to be? So do not be that guy. Do not be the guy. Don't be Brent. Don't be the guy sitting at Mythic just a few scant matches away from reaching Legend and having access to Not Forgotten. Don't be that guy. Get this done now if you are grinding for it so that you don't get reset in the following season. But Brent, this is something I would love us to do, man. I really, really want to get my hands on Luna's Howl. Would love to get my hands on Not Forgotten, but we'd have to put together a consistent squad to make that happen. Mm-hmm. But these are sweet weapons with unique perks that are dominant inside of the Crucible at the very least. I would love for us to find some people to put a squad together to go through comp. So if anybody out there is interested in joining us for competitive, let's make that happen. What do you think, man?
I'm going to translate that. If anyone's willing to jump in and carry us through competitive, we'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, we can hold our own.
Maybe. I mean, we mean me, but yeah, I usually carry you. But it's we could use a couple more guys to carry boys. That's what we're saying. We need a couple more people to. I'll say we need you to carry us, and by us I mean this guy over here. So
exactly. So there, however you want to phrase it, it works for me. But I think I'll be okay like through the Brave, maybe the Heroic ranks. Once we get up to Fabled, like that's probably where I'm gonna get a little sketchy in terms of a teammate. But hey, dude, I'm good for Brave and Heroic. So if you join us now,
you dominant force you.
Yeah, dude, like, get in there with the youngins, the young bucks. I can get in there and hold out. But yeah, so if you want to join the team and be a part of the team when I'm actually of use in the lower ranks, do it now. We'd love to make it happen. But yeah, dude, in all seriousness, though, I would love for us to put a competitive squad together, get in there consistently, because I've been solo queuing into competitive, which is not always the best, always
No,
the
it's
best,
not at all.
best experience. But I've been able to go in there and win some matches and have a lot of fun doing it. Would love to get in there with our squad. So let's make that happen, dude. Please, let's find a way.
We need to make it. We need to make it happen. The teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man. So, Brent, that is going to do it for this episode of Tower Talk. That is everything going on in the world of Destiny. Some exciting changes coming up. Dude, we are less than a month away from the Black Armory. And what I'm guessing is going to be some very exciting stuff associated with that. There's been several rumors associated with the Black Armory. We obviously know that heavy machine guns are returning to the game. So that's really exciting. There's been talk of this new class of weapon, this black weapon. Maybe even a step above exotic, like these black armory weapons that are exclusive to that, what do you call them, foundation or I can't think of the word right now. Foundry, that's what I'm thinking of. Exclusive to that foundry, like this elite level of character. There's been a lot of talk of this Arms Week event that's been in the Destiny database for a long time, and that is theoretically associated with the Black Armory. There's going to be new activities available to us. There's obviously new Iron Banner stuff going on. So a lot of exciting stuff around the corner here, man. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. But we've got a lot of work to do in these next 4 weeks.
Yeah, and a lot of guys in the chat, they got stuff that sounds like they got work cut out for them too. They know that the end is getting close, and a lot of them are close to some weapons that they really want to get. So should be really, really cool to see how this plays out. And then at the end of the month, these guys come back in the chat. We find out who was able to achieve their goals, and we'll find out who wasn't. I'm sure we'll hear from a lot of these guys. We appreciate you guys stopping in. Lord Tipsy, Jacob, Vox Insanity. We had somebody else in there. I apologize. I can't score right now. It's frozen. But we really appreciate you guys stopping by and talking to us while we talk Destiny 2. It's what we love about the community. We know you guys love the game. We love to get your guys' input, so we appreciate you guys stopping by.
Yeah, love it. And I was just thinking about this too, Brent, and I think you'd agree with me, but I don't know that Destiny's ever been in a better position than it is right now. The way the PvE is going, there's all the wonderful activities you can do in that end of the game. I think the Crucible is really fun right now. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the PvP side of things. I just feel like as a whole, with where the game sits right now, I don't know that Destiny's ever been in a better position, man. I'm really, really enjoying the game right now.
There's just so much to do. I mean, that's the whole point of it, and that's the best part of it. Is you jump in any night, and there's just a ridiculous amount of stuff to do, and everything has great payouts. Everything has stuff that you want to earn, and you're right, dude. This is where it's at. This is where Destiny 2 needed to be from the start, and it's only going to get better with these new additions that are going to be dropping over the next couple months. So a lot of great stuff coming to Destiny 2. It's in a great place. We're having a lot of fun, and let's just keep that train going, dude.
Absolutely. So Tower Talk we do every Thursday night after the Bungie weekly update. So if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you always know when we go live. Jump into the live chat like you mentioned everybody was doing earlier in the show, Brent. We love to have everybody in here. If you missed the live show, no worries. Just leave some comments down below. We'll definitely read those. We love hearing from you guys in any way, shape, or form. So we'll be back next week, probably around 10 p.m. Eastern. We're live a little bit early today because we were able to. So if we can, we'll get on earlier. But if not, we're usually on around 10:30. But just hit that bell so you always know when we go live. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that fun stuff. You can follow me at Piccolo930 on Twitter. Brent's at the Dude 1979. Follow us as a whole at the Short Pause on Twitter so you know everything that we are up to. So once again, thanks to everybody in the chat. For Brent, I'm Ben. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
See you guys.